What's up, everybody? It's your man, MG Marcus Grant. And are you looking to stay up to date with the latest goings-on of your favorite, or maybe not so favorite NFL team? Well, how do you do that? You go directly to the source. Every week, Matty Kroll is doing just that with On the Beat, talking to beat reporters from across the National Football League. Be sure to check it out each and every week.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, it's your host, Calvin Domingo, a.k.a. Steezy A. Smith, and today, 32-Bit is presenting yet another edition of On Beat featuring the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I got another VIG with me, not a VIP, a very important guest. He covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for The Athletic, one of the best newspaper publications out there. Be sure to check him out. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Greg Auman. How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me on here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking the time. We're not going to waste any time, though. We're just going to hop right into it. So I wanted to ask, Mr. Auman, regarding the report that Tom Brady, quote-unquote, felt pressure to return ahead of free agency for another season, you stated via The Athletic that, quote-unquote, Brady was smart to step back and reevaluate when there was still time to build the best team possible around his return for another run at a title. That being said, with everything else that's transpired in the AFC, are the Bucs more of a top 3 team or more of a top 5 team in the NFL?
Oh, I don't know. I think they're right there. You know, the AFC is probably the stronger conference right now. I would think they're right there kind of with the Rams and the Packers on the NFC side as, you know, one of the perceived teams to beat. You know, they'll play both those teams this year, so we'll kind of get the pecking order figured out as the season carries on. But no, I think they're right in that top tier. You know, Tom Brady at quarterback certainly helps, but AFC is probably the tougher side right now.
Gotcha. No doubt about that. And I wanted to ask, what's the latest regarding a potential return of Gronk? Is he simply waiting until after OTAs to sign, or is he actually split on returning? What's the likelihood he does return?
I think he'll be back. I think he's kind of just taking his time. This is a time of year where it's voluntary anyway. They have a mandatory minicamp this coming week where Brady will be there. But again, this is like year 12 for him. I think Gronk knows what he's doing. So I think there's still very much the expectation he'll be back, but kind of on his own terms. I'm sure it'll be before training camp starts in 2 months or so. But I think he'll still be back.
And were you able to see one of his latest tweets? I think a lot of fans were kind of thinking, oh, it's very cryptic. Oh, he might not come back.
I'm not sure what that one was. What was that?
Man, real quick, if you can give me just a sec. I'm going to look it up. Hold on.
He kind of likes messing around with people. He talked about how he was only coming back if Julian Edelman was coming back. I think he just likes seeing responses from people. He's kind
of just trolling.
Yeah, Brady's only here, so he's only going to be here. I think there's still some chance he doesn't come back just because he dealt with some injuries last year. But I think the expectation is that he'll be back for another year.
Seems like it's inevitable then. I'm not even going to pull out the tweet. So I wanted to talk about Bucs wide receiver Cecil Grayson. And recently on a podcast, he talked about how Chris Godwin, he thinks, is going to be back sooner than everybody thinks. I'll say that, quote unquote. I heard he ran 19 miles per hour the other day. So is this typical player speak, or does Grayson actually have a point? Is Godwin ahead of his timetable as far as returning?
Yeah, we haven't got a whole lot of real updates. The Bucs have kind of said they're pleased with where Godwin is coming back, but they haven't necessarily even said what that timetable is. So it would be impressive if he's back and playing in week 1. Straight ahead speed is great, but coming off an ACL, it's also about cutting and lateral movement and stuff like that. Nobody's going to be more committed to coming back and getting fully healthy than Chris will be this summer. So no, I think the most important thing is just getting him fully healthy, whether that's week 1, whether that's starting the year in PUP and playing in week 7 and still having whatever that is, 11, 12 games to play. You know, I think they're confident he'll be back when it counts the most.
Okay, no doubt about that. So just recently, Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually signed defensive lineman Akeem Hicks. And so with his arrival, does this mean that the door is shut on a potential return of an Ndamukong Suh or even a JPP?
Yeah, it doesn't really impact JPP too much. I think Suh's not coming back. I think there was probably a window where he was, but I mean, they didn't sign him before the draft, and now they've used their top draft pick on his position, and they gave Akeem Hicks like $8 million. So I think they probably have a good rotation now in their top 5 with Vea and Hicks and Golston and Logan Hall, their top draft pick, and Rakeem Nunez-Roches. So there probably was a window where Suh could have come back, but I mean, he's 35, played through a tough injury last year as well. You know, durability was always kind of the strong suit. If there's anything you're worried about with Akeem Hicks, it's that he's missed 20 games in the last 3 years. But I think they're hopeful that maybe playing a little bit less as part of a rotation here in Tampa might help him stay healthy and be there for him, especially down the road and in the playoffs.
Right. Does this mean that you think Ndamukong Suh just ends up retiring, or?
No, I think he definitely sounded like somebody who wanted to play. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's still playing. You've heard some AFC West teams, Chiefs, Raiders, mentioned his possibilities for him. But I don't think it'll be here in Tampa either way.
Okay, gotcha. So it's widely assumed that this coming season will presumably be Tom Brady's last. That being said, I know that there have been glowing reports about Kyle Trask in the last couple of days during OTAs. I know it is just OTAs, so this could just be player speak, coach speak, or whatnot. But do the Buccaneers have their quarterback of the future in the Kyle Trask?
Yeah, I don't think they know that yet. I'm not really sure how they could know that. I mean, he hasn't played a snap. It's kind of odd in that I think the plan is going to be for him to be the number 3 again this year with, Blaine Gabbert as the 2. So, they're more comfortable with a seasoned vet, a 32-year-old kind of stepping in for Brady who would get hurt during games. Yeah. So right now it doesn't look like the plan is for Trask to even dress on game days this fall. But again, with him, it's always been, what he is after Brady's gone, whether that's after this year or a couple of years, we still don't know. But no, I think he's kind of making progress. It's hard in that a number 3 quarterback in the NFL doesn't really get a whole lot of significant reps in practice, especially during the season. But I mean, his history, if you look at Kyle Trask, he wasn't really a starter in high school, barely threw any passes in his first 3 years in Florida, and then he winds up a Heisman finalist. So if there's anybody that can kind of show that they can learn while not playing, it's probably Kyle Trask.
No doubt about that. Okay. Now I want you to pick one sleeper on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Who would those two be?
It's tough. I would probably say on offense right now, there's so many known commodities with this team. So much is back, but maybe Rachaad White. He's their 3rd-round draft pick, running back out of Arizona State. Good pass catcher, good all-around back. It wouldn't surprise me if they run the ball more this year, and if he's maybe a solid number 2 behind Leonard Fournette there. Defensively, I don't know who I'd go to there. Maybe I'll be intrigued to see kind of in the secondary. I mean, they have just about everybody back in the secondary. Maybe what Mike Edwards can do as a safety, maybe what Logan Ryan can do between nickel and safety. He's probably one of the few newcomers they have defensively. You could say somebody like Logan Hall, but that's their 2nd-round draft pick. That's not necessarily a sleeper. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to do, but I'm intrigued to see what Logan Ryan can do as part of the secondary.
Oh, Mr. Auman, well, you know what they say. Time flies when you're having fun. So again, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to hop on the show. But before you do go, any plugs, anything else that you want to let the fans know before you go?
Yeah, everything I write's at theathletic.com. You can get, if you're a new subscriber, you can get in for $1 a month right now, which is a great deal. I'm on Twitter at my name, just GREGAUMAN. We'll have lots of stuff next week from mandatory minicamp in Tampa. But thanks again for having me on, man.
Yes, sir. Mr. Auman, I hope you have a great day. To the 32-Bit Network, to everybody else out there, that has been Mr. Greg Auman, who covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for The Athletic. Please do give him a follow. And as always, we'll be back yet again. Peace.